departments, where we brought in what is called as tree-based agriculture in the last 27 years. Initially, we used to call it agroforestry, but then it fell under the forest department and we came under so many limitations. So we just had to rename it to fall under agriculture. And now we have tree-based agriculture and it's going very well. And we're doing this in the Kaveri Basin. It is 83,000 square kilometers of land, 5.2 million farmers, both between Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Puducherry. So here we are envisioning to plant 2.42 billion trees, but all on farmland. And we have evolved this method of how a farmer can grow his regular crops with trees in between, which will become an extra income and becomes the source of soil regeneration. That you use the soil, you use the tree foliage to enhance the soil quality. So today, I can say about 130,000 farmers, their lands have gone to average organic content in Tamil Nadu was 0.68%. Today, these farmers have well over 3 to 4% organic content. Water tables have come up. The incredible thing is, I know you were saying as a very large example, I always believed at least 50 to 100 acres minimum you must plant to get this water table up. But to our incredible surprise, 5 acres if you plant, water table comes up. This is the incredible nature of the southern plateau, that 5 acres, I see water tables have come up significantly and it stays there. So right now this movement, Save Soil movement worldwide, is because not a single nation in the world has the 3% minimum average organic content that is necessary to keep the soil organisms alive for future generations. On an average, 27,000 species of organisms are dying or going extinct per year. At this rate, whatever we may be doing in individual land areas will not work because the soil organisms or microorganisms are a global phenomenon. They function as one big life phenomenon. So without the support of all around, just one place we are doing it well, it is good, but still it doesn't really work like that. It doesn't really solve the problem for future generations. And anyway, one part of the world is far more fertile than the rest of the world. Whoever has the big guns on that day, they will come and take it anyway. It will happen. Once there are food shortages, people will come and take each other's land. In the last 50 years, in the last 50 years, 30 wars have happened in Africa, out of which 27 wars are for fertile lands. They fought mainly to take each other's fertile lands. It's not the end of the world, but it's going to be extremely painful. And because of this 27,000 species lost per year, right now if you attempt regenerating the soil on the planet with the right kind of policies across the world, in 10 to 15 years' time, we can make a significant turnaround. But if you allow this to go beyond 30 to 40 years, after that, if we try to regenerate, it is said it will take 150 to 200 years. So this will be an incredibly painful phase for humanity, and nearly a quarter or a third of the population may die because of these things. More than that, the chaos that will happen when there are food shortages, civilizations will collapse. They're expecting dozens of civil wars by 2035. And famines will not, famine means people think it will happen in Africa or somewhere else. No, they're saying Illinois will have a famine by 2035. So, this is where we are going, because the average organic content in the world has come down significantly. In India, average is 0.68%, which is very, very low. This is one of the most fertile lands. Godavari, Kaveri, Ganga has yielded, it has bred a whole civilizations. But today we have brought it to this place. So what we are striving for is that everywhere in the world, as there are urban laws in a city, see, if you have 10,000 square feet of land here, you cannot build a 10,000 square feet building. There is some law, 6,000, 7,000 you have to build and leave some space. But if you have 100 acres of land, you can plow every inch of the land. If you want, you can turn it into a desert in the next 10, 20 years' time. There is no law. So we are trying to bring a law, incentive-based law, that if you own agricultural land, it's your responsibility to have minimum of 3% organic content. So for this, initially it takes incentives. Then once they reach that 3%, there is a carbon sequestration that's happening because of that, so we must crack the carbon market. The next thing is, suppose, let's say a fruit or a vegetable, let's say an apple. This comes from 1% organic content, means what micronutrients it has. 3% means what it has. Everybody knows this, there is enough science about it. So with that much extra micronutrients, what are the health benefits you get? What are the preventive health benefits you get? What are the benefits in terms of less stress in the healthcare system? What are the benefits in terms of number of man-days not being lost? Or, a population which is more healthy, naturally is more productive and more creative. All these benefits are there. Suppose it's 6% organic content, it will sit on a higher shelf in the marketplace. So the farmer should get 3 levels of incentives. One directly from the administrations, next from the carbon market, next from the marketplace. If we don't do this now and enhance farmers' income, because we have made some kind of a survey in the country where right now 62% of the population is in farming. Not even 2% of the farmers want their children to become farmers. This is one thing is the lack of income. It's not lucrative enough to stay there. Another thing is this compulsory education. Boys and girls who don't go on the field early on, after 18, they don't even have a physique to go and survive on the land, to do something hard work on the land is not possible because they have spent 18 years in school, or till they're 18 they're in school. So this needs to be looked at also. But the most important thing is a farmer should earn as much as a doctor, engineer, lawyer, whatever drives people into the urban centers. They must earn at least that much. Only then we will have farmers in the next 30 years. Otherwise we will be in a serious peril of not having enough people who know how to farm. My experience of things is, even people who have done MSc in agriculture cannot grow a single crop. Farmer has an intrinsic knowledge about how to do this, which we are ignoring as not valuable, but we will know the value when there are food shortages. So this is, I'm doing a 100-day journey from London to Kaveri, which is about 30,000 kilometers. I've already completed 25 nations. I'm in Dubai right now. Tonight I'm going back and continuing the journey. So going to Muscat, and from there I'm taking, along with my motorcycle, taking a small boat to Gujarat, and from there I'm riding all the way. I will be coming to Hyderabad. We look forward to your cooperation.
We'll welcome you, of course.
I will give you a policy document. Please examine that before that. This is a simple guideline document that farmers should benefit, and it should be incentivized in such a way that he will naturally want to raise the organic content. You mentioned reduction of fertilizer and pesticide. See, these are issues, but if you attempt it that way, right now I've spoken to the European Common Agricultural Policy people. See, they are talking about a very complex approach. It is very well thought out, well intentioned. I admire that. But what we need to understand is, when it comes to implementation, you will not have scientists or academics implementing it. It's the farmer who implements it. It has to be simply one point, easy to implement policy. If you have 10 things to address, for example, people are saying reduce fertilizer. I've been in agriculture myself. See, if that is your field, this is my field. How much fertilizer your land demands, how much mine demands is not the same. Not always the same, I'm saying. So if you say 50% right now, you may still be able to manage crops. I may not be able to manage. Then what will I do? I will get spurious stuff from somewhere and start using it, which will be far more damaging and absolutely no control. A whole lot of unnecessary things will happen. Instead of that, if we raise the organic content, the need for fertilizer will start dropping down by itself. This whole urban idea that farmers are simply throwing fertilizer on the land and destroying the land is a silly idea, because fertilizer costs so much money. Why would farmers simply throw it on the land? They don't understand, in a degraded land, unless you use a certain quantum of fertilizer, nothing is going to come out of it. And above all, in the marketplace right now, if you go to this any market here, it says this is organic. If this fruit is organic, what is the other fruit? Is it inorganic? This is all a marketing stunt. If you fix it that If it is 3% and above, what is the micronutrients? There's enough science to tell us that. If you say this is from a 3% field, people know how much to pay. If you say this is from a 6% field, they know how much to pay. Our own experience has been, if you raise the organic content in the soil to 8 to 10%, the irrigation requirement comes down to 30% of what we are using right now. 100 liters will become 30 liters. That needs to happen in India.
So firstly, you're a fascinating man. You've touched upon so many subjects that, I have so many things to say and so many questions to ask and so many, points to make. But I'll just make 3 quick observations. One, talk about policy support. If you could possibly point out if there are any precedents in the world where somebody has done something which you believe is worth emulation, I think that would be a great start for us. That's the first thing I'd ask. The second thing, sir, I think every Prime Minister, every Chief Minister, dreams of doubling farmers' income. Including our Prime Minister, who talked about doubling farmers' income back in 2015. Of course, for a variety of reasons, that has not translated. But the fact is, if you make agriculture remunerative, if you make it like you were pointing out, 2% of the farmers actually want their progeny, their kids actually to continue in the same line of activity. That's primarily because it's not remunerative, it's not lucrative, it's not attractive enough also to do the same. So the question I guess I'm asking is, how do we make this whole safe soil movement attractive in the sense of returns as well for the farmers, making it more remunerative and lucrative? And the third